Playbaw podcast.
All right. Now on to the part of this podcast that I have been fucking dreading. This is... Let me look at some of these YouTube comments before I get into it. What's up, Devin Steep? Devin Stobb? Devin Stepp? Yeah, man, HBK, Heartbreak Kid, banging the Canadian flag. That was quite a moment. I'll have to talk about that on this podcast at some time. Yeah, man, very similar to the OU Florida hit. Yeah, man, I watched that. I watched a clip of that right before this podcast. Actually, dude, that was the definition of targeting before there was targeting. Dude put the crown of his helmet in the guy's chest. Dude, in his Halloween customer already selling Playbaw. Exactly. Okay, let me get this over with. I've been dreading talking about this all week. Here goes nothing. It's the whole reason why I got the red vibes going on today out of Disobey solidarity. I'm gonna have to do a long form walkthrough in one of these episodes about the journey from start to now in Disobey. My wrestling stable. For those of you who don't know wrestling, a stable is a faction or something, or team or whatever. Disobey is made up of JTM, brothers JTM, Defiant Simon Phillips, and Risen Brandon Collins. This weekend, that all changed. The past 2.5 years, we traced it back the other day. It was January 2021 whenever I came up with the term disobey and the idea. JTM showed me the screenshot in our group8. It's been since January 2021. So what is that? That's almost 3 years. That's 2 years and 6, 8, 9 months. This past Saturday night, it all seemingly came to an end. This weekend, I show up to the show Saturday in Albany, Louisiana. Pro Wrestling 225 Into the Hornet's Nest. I referenced it on last week's show. And this week, I show up to the show Saturday ready to defend our Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Championships. We were the longest reigning Pro Wrestling 225 Tag Team Championships of all time. So I was ready to face the pillar, which has Dale Springs in it. I encourage you to go watch my series Back to the Backyard, which so far has showcased Dale Springs and Simon Phillips's rivalry. It's done spilled into a tag team rivalry now, but as of today and as of Saturday, who knows how that weighs in the balance. So I show up to the show Saturday, and this is what I discover. Risen Brandon Collins is not at the show, and I am not given much details, but I'm told he's headed to the emergency room to go get surgery on his face. He broke his face, and at the time, the details were cloudy, but right before we went out for our match, I found out that Simon had something to do with this. So I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I was fully expecting us to have a trios match with the Pillar and what turned out to be Braxton Hunter, who I thought that dude was like fucking retired or a cop or something. Great wrestler, great talent, but I didn't know he was going to be involved in this at all. That's not here nor there. So I get in the back and I find out Brandon is gone. He's in the hospital. And this is what ended up happening. He ended up breaking his orbital bone. Or Simon had something to do with Brandon's orbital bone being broken. This is not a fucking storyline. This is not some shit we made up. As you can see right here, he's in the fucking hospital. Look, man, I do a lot of filmmaking and stuff like that. It's not easy just to fucking get a fucking hospital bed in a hospital or gimmick up your eye like that. This dude's fucking face is broke. I had to go visit him at Our Lady of the Lake in fucking Baton Rouge Sunday. And it is real, Playbaw. This dude's face is broke. He has 2 metal plates in it. And the who knows? Like that. Out. Who knows how long? Who knows if he can ever come back into wrestling? You see this kind of stuff with UFC fights. You don't see this kind of stuff in pro wrestling that often, especially not amongst teammates, and you usually think it's an accident. In this video, I'm about to show you what happened Saturday night in our tag team match. I think it's pretty obvious that this was no damn accident.
So my boys got it. Brandon should have never crossed that line. You should have never crossed that line. You need to remember your place, Tom. You need to remember your place. Because what you're staying together, not behind one another. Tonight I'll show my real place. You got the camera going. After everything we've been through, everything we accomplished together, everything I worked for, you let your own ambitions outweigh the needs of the group. I would never believe that my own flesh and blood would take everything away from me the way that you have. All I've ever heard is that blood is thicker than water. But I guess that just makes it easier to drown. But Simon, you can have it all. You can have Disobey all to yourself. I'm going home.
Does that look like an accident to y'all? All I've ever heard is blood is thicker than water. But I guess that makes it just enough to drown. I don't remember the exact first time I ever seen JTM wrestle, but whenever I first started going to pro wrestling 225 shows as just a regular mark, just a fan, no ambitions to truly get involved yet. I went to a show that actually D'Lo Brown was supposed to be there, and guess he worked the promoter. He didn't show up. I remember seeing JTM. He stood out to me. I said, that's a badass, legit badass, double tough son of a gun. That's the kind of wrestler I like. See, that guy over there is doing backflips. This guy over here is, got a clown. This guy over here has some kind of crazy gimmick. I'm not really into some campy gimmick. That dude right there is real. That guy right there looks like he works at the fucking London shipyard in like 1827. That dude right there looks like you don't even want to fucking bump into him at the mall. He's what you used to call cock strong. He would show up to music shows and hardcore shows and come see me rap, and we ended up being friends. Him and John Taylor were longtime friends. He knew a lot of people that I knew. We had a lot of mutual friends. And then COVID happened, and then one day I decided to DM him. I said, man, what they doing with you over there? And basically he was like, not shit. I turned heel, but nothing since then. And I said, I noticed that. They could really do a lot with you, with a heel persona, stuff like that. From that moment on, wasn't no more gimmicks. From that moment on, wasn't no more storylines. From that moment on, shit was real. Because me and him shared the same thoughts about wrestling. We wanted that same feeling from back in the day. We wanted it to be real. And from that moment on, we started talking every day. I had a shitty job I hated at the time in a cubicle. Shit wasn't going his way in the thing that he loved, that he's thought about every moment since he was a child. Pro wrestling. It's all he ever wanted to do, and I could see it. I could see it in his eyes that it was dwindling. And I said, I'm going to take my passion, I'm going to take my skills, and I'm going to give that motherfucking dude a chance. And that's what we did. And it wasn't but a month. I think we did one promo. Remember, we did the first Disobey promo where it was just JTM. Before we had a logo, any of that. It was just a dream and a camera. And it was maybe a month before my brother Simon and Brandon, they're gonna get involved in Disobey. So wasn't expecting all that, but I was down for a faction, man. I was down for some unity. I was down for something special. And then I had to make 2 debut vignettes in 1 week. I made Simon's, I made Brandon's. They buried Brandon back in the day whenever he tried to wrestle the first go round in these indie feds, and they buried him. So therefore we was going to dig him up, and he was going to be Risen Brandon Collins. Simon used to be what was called Golden Boy Simon. He was a golden boy, stuck up, heel, blah, blah, blah. He wore these long sleeve things. And he wanted to disobey. So I said, you want to burn that golden boy outfit? He said, I got like 8 of them. Sure, let's burn it. We put a bag over his head. We tied him up with chains in the chair. And he was doing his defiant thing. And we, in alluding to the fact that it was Simon, his brother, that all the fans knew was his brother already. He said, Disobey is about family. And for almost 3 years, up until last Saturday night in Albany, Louisiana, Disobey was about family. I don't know what Disobey is about now. I should have known. I had my suspicions. Whenever the gold thing came about, and, me and Simon, I never had a crossword with JTM. He's one of those salt of the earth guys. He had my back in a heartbeat. Brandon, he don't really talk. But he's a good guy too. He didn't deserve this. But Simon, Defiant Simon Phillips, I almost can't get a word out without butting heads with that guy. I love him. He's my brother as well. But me and him have butted heads since day one. He's been an antagonist this whole time, and I should have seen this coming. We have differing views on almost everything. He's a tyrant. He's a golden boy. He thinks he's better than people, and we've always known it. He went up. He left his family to go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and go train with Dr. Tom and Glenn Jacobs. Go look up Glenn Jacobs. Yeah, that's why Glenn Jacobs had your ass at fucking political events like a puppet. You were learning wrestling. You were up there trying to get Glenn Jacobs elected. And anybody doesn't know Glenn Jacobson, it's a fucking former Kane in WWE and F. Yeah, you wanted clout. I believe you are down for Disobey, but I don't know what to believe anymore to find Simon Phillips. Your own brother broke his face. Your other brother, you beat him down like a dog. And when I seen you trying to put that chair around his neck, I had to roll into the ring and risk myself getting in trouble with the commission. We're supposed to be uncommissioned together. All 3 of us. Let me tell you something. Whenever I started Disobey, you were retired. You quit. You took your ball and went home, boy. Oh, I work for WWE. Oh, I've been an enhancement talent. Oh, I know, promoters tell me, oh, I'm really the one that they think, is good enough. Oh, I don't never call. I don't never no show. I don't never call out. I can do the flips. I can talk that talk. I can slap myself in the face. But when you didn't get what you wanted, you quit. And I came around and revived you. I gave you a second chance. Now look at you. On top of the world. Guess who rolled in the ring and saved JTM when no one else would? And I'll do it again. But I can't now. Because he's gone too. So guess what, Simon? It's just me and you now. I've been wanting this since I was a little child, my damn self. Now I got a platform and I can talk. I always was behind the camera this whole fucking time. But now, there ain't no more Disobey for right now. So my main goal right now is to make sure you go back into fucking retirement. So you can take that big bald head, great value, Vader wannabe you got with you. I seen him. He tried to shave his back hair. Now he got stubbles and bumps back there. He gonna need you to shave his back hair for him. But all I got to say to Chris Mason, whenever you turn around and turn your back for him to shave that back hair for you, beware. Because the Defiant One is probably going to stab you in it. But see, Simon, to talk your lies and to talk your shit and to get up on your pulpit like your father and spread your propaganda like the cult leader you want to be, you need the camera to be pointing at you. So my back ain't never going to be turned at you. So when you sleeping at night and you off with your family and you doing what you got to do, you doing what's necessary. When you looked at me when I was outside the ring with my camera, you stared me right in my face, one thing you've never done before. And you told me you was doing what you had to do. And the little kids was all around the ring crying and wondering what the fuck you was going on. You beat that man down like a dog in front of his own children. Just remember, me and you, we're blood now. But just like JTM said, blood is thicker than water. But maybe that just makes it thick enough to drown. That's all I got to say tonight.
Playbaw Podcast.